Good evening, my friends. Welcome to another edition of Wednesday Night Live right here on Mike Avery Outdoors. This is something I do every Wednesday night at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. I do this on my Facebook page, on my YouTube channel, on my Vimeo channel as well. And looking at other options, other places to stream this live show as well. I do this as kind of a celebration of the outdoor lifestyle. I am an outdoor broadcaster based in Michigan. I've been doing this for many, many years. Used to be in television, now concentrate on radio and social media. And here we go. There's Johnny. Johnny, you've been killing the fish there in the Grand. In what's this? Remove. Okay, no problem. I'll remove it. And save changes. Okay. Boom. Johnny says rain is on its way. Johnny, we got a bunch of rain down here today. That's for sure. Todd says, good evening, all. Watch the weather. Been watching it all day. We had some really big storms come in. Jeff says, good evening, Captain Avery. Hope everybody made it through the show. Well, thank you, Jeff. And yes, my name is Captain Mike Avery. Even though I'm a licensed charter captain, I'm not running charters. Bernie says, missed this morning. Hey, right, Bernie. It's not like you to do that. Who's with us? Yes, I did see that tree at Linwood Beach fell over and hit some marina pontoons there. Kelly, Parker, Hunter, and Bella say hi from Martin. From good. Glenn, are we fishing Monday? I'm looking forward to it. One day. One day, when Mike retires, 30 years to go, Bill Hoffman says he's going to host Outdoor Magazine. Well, Bill, I'm not sure it's going to be 30 days or 30 years, but it's going to be a while. Hey, how is my audio? I was playing around with the audio here just a few minutes ago, and I feel like maybe it's on the edge of distortion. It was a little bit loud last week. So how does the audio sound to you, my friends? You're in. All right, wonderful. I'm in the process of doing my walleye fishing trips on Saginaw Bay as part of my fundraising efforts for the Real Men Wear Pink campaign and some other charities as well. Great audio, wonderful. I've had some really good fishing trips so far. Monday, we're going to go out with Ross Elliott, Glenn Venner, Nick Grillo of Michigan Brand Meats, and also Brent James, all friends of mine who could fish with me for free anytime they want, but they paid money for the charity to raise money for Real Men Wear Pink. How cool is that? Something else that's cool, coming up here in a few minutes, Nick Percy of Killer Food Plots is going to join me. You know this whole, hey, Dave Mull, how are you, my friend? Dave Mull was on the radio. Dave Mull, now known as the Yak Master. There's somebody else very famous, known as the Whack Master. Well, now Dave Mull is known as the Yak Master. Well, what's this Linda's telling us right now? Great mayfly hatch on Lake Michel last night. Good sign for the health of the lake. Very true, Linda. Very true. When you've got mayflies, you've got clean water. Am I wearing my Real Men Wear Pink t-shirt? No, Lori, I got a black t-shirt on. I am wearing my Real Men Wear Pink boxers, though. We're not going to show those because this is a G-rated show. Yeah, Rob says, now that's a group. That's for sure. That's a group. Hey, Rob, of course, one of our friends up in White River, Ontario, Canada. Be careful when Avery gives you a nickname because Bill Hoffman's nickname is the most interesting man in Michigan. And Bill's going to let me voice. He's going to let me voice his next book. One of my goals in life is to voice an audio book. It is a great cause. It is a great cause. When I go fishing Monday, you know what, Lori? I probably will. Is that a little bit too much information for you, Lori? Jim checking in from Tennessee. My friend Craig checking in. Good evening. How are you? A moth hatch on St. Clair River. Now, that's something I'd never heard of before. Mayfly hatches, fly hatches, bug hatches. I'm not sure I've heard of a moth hatch. Anyway, my friends, welcome to another edition of Wednesday Night Live here. My name is Mike Avery, and I love to do this every Wednesday night. Well, here's a comment I have to show you. Dawn says, "You are looking fantastically healthy, Big Mike." I'm just going to leave that comment up here. I'm just going to leave it up on the screen for a while. Thank you, Dawn. I appreciate that. I've worked very hard to lose a ton of weight and worked very hard to keep it off as well. And I'm really looking forward to the gym's opening back up so I can get in there and start lifting some weights again. What do we got tonight, my friends? Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation, Crystal Light for now. Once I'm done to be joined by Maker's Mark, you know my routine. Hey, look at who's with us tonight. Joe Voro. Joe, top-notch guy, an avid outdoorsman. He's not always able to join us, but he's here with us now. And Joe, I appreciate that very much. What's Bill Hoffman trying to say? Still in the camper. We got a little private conversation going here now. Don't let Scott. Nick, can you read Scott Hand's comment? He says, "Don't let Nick Percy talk. He will take over the show." Hey, Scott, this ain't my first rodeo. I know Percy. I know how to shut him off. I got controls here on my computer. I can bring his picture in. I can bring his audio in, and he knows that. Dawn says, what do you say, Dawn? They're all over the river's edge are wondering if they're baby fish flies. Well, fish flies are also mayflies. What do we like to do here, my friends, on Wednesday Night Live? What is the stars thing? You know, Ross, I'm not entirely sure. I clicked a button one day. It said about stars, allowing people to give me stars. And I think a star is worth a penny a piece. So if you give me 100 stars, I get $1. They're not mayflies, Captain Todd says. Fish flies are not mayflies? I thought they were. But I think I'm going to get rid of the stars, Ross. I don't feel comfortable with it. What I do here on Wednesday Night Live is it's to entertain you, inform you, and to give things away. Look at who's with us tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Nick Ostrowski, who is one of the hardest core. I can't show your comment here, Nick. I don't know why. Hardest core fishermen, hunters I've ever met. Nick is the guy. You see him right there on the screen. He's not making a comment, but Nick is the guy I had on the radio show back in the 1 year when we had a wolf hunt in Michigan. Nick got on the track of a wolf and he walked it down and killed it. That's how hardcore this guy is. Captain Todd says mayflies are fish flies. That's what I was talking. That's what I thought we were talking about, Todd. Mayflies being fish flies. The hunting expedition of Oliver Hazard Perry. Well, thank you, Gilbert. I appreciate it. Sherry, my dear, how are you this evening? Sherry, we're not going to give away some Freakin' Pickles tonight, but I do want to give away a shout out to both Freakin' Pickles, freakinpickles.com, and also Speedy Blaze, speedyblaze.com. But tonight, Lori's asking, how was lunch at the Lumberjack? I wasn't. Lori, there we go. Lori, again, we can see your comment. We can see your picture. Congratulations on killing your first springtime bird. How cool is that? 10-year-old grandson caught a huge carp using corn. He had a blast. I bet he did. So aside from information and entertainment, I like to give away things here on Wednesday Night Live. We started out by giving away Michigan brand hams. Then we started giving away Freakin' Pickles. And then we started giving away Speedy Blaze. Tonight, we're going to give away some killer food plot products. And if we're going to do that, and I'm going to bring you in right now, Nick, we've got to bring in Nick Percy of Michigan-based Killer Food Plots. And Nick, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing good. Doing great. Thanks, Mike.
Busy as usual, I bet.
Yes. We are. I keep saying bobbing off the pool and sucking air about every third temp. So it's busy. Still got my iced tea, so I'm doing all right.
Well, iced tea, and I'm sure there's a bag of peanut M&Ms nearby too.
Yeah, just down that. That's gone, but yes.
Hey, listen, tell us real briefly, because Scott Hand says real briefly, about Killer Food Plots. You guys are family-owned, Michigan-based, and I love that.
Yeah, definitely. We've been in business. I started as a hobby business 30 years ago and turned it into a full-blown career now. In 2018, I walked away from engineering for a manufacturer and started full-time engineering. And engineering whitetail habitat every day of the week, 7 days a week, pretty much, and just loving it.
And you have built up quite a name for yourself now. You're known as one of the premier, well, in my mind, I got to be honest with you, the premier food plot company, at least that I'm aware of.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. I'm a humble guy. I work hard. I'm constantly learning and challenging myself to develop new solutions to problems. That's what I did as an engineer. And there's definitely opportunities within the food plotting realm.
Nick, can you read comments? Bill Hoffman is asking, Nick, are there any throw and go products worth their while? Can you see those comments?
Oh, yeah. Now I see them.
Okay.
Yes. So our Deep Woods product works extremely well in that. It's our number one selling product. Deep Woods grows in poor quality soil. Literally, if you can get a little 1 gallon pump sprayer, you can spray and kill off the grass and weeds, broadcast the Deep Woods into it, and it will grow. Carnage brassicas will grow like that. We have several products that you can frost seed. So before there's any grass and weeds even happening, you can frost seed them in the spring, get them growing.
And what are you going to give away for us tonight, Nick?
We are going to give away a KFP soil test kit. It's really important that you test your soil. It's the best money you spend every year, and starting your food plotting, it establishes that blueprint. So you know what's going on in your soil, you can amend it and put your money and your time to work for you. So
a couple more questions before we get to the giveaway. Craig says, how late in the year can you plant turnips?
Well, it depends on Mother Nature, but I would say that I try to get them planted before the holiday, Labor Day weekend. If we have a decent fall, that wouldn't be bad, but I try to target towards the front of August, maybe mid-August. They usually mature in about 30 to 45 days.
Nate says, where can we find Killer Food Plots products?
Well, you can find them all over the state. We're in several different Northwoods Wholesale, Ben's Great Outdoors. Of course, we're at Family Farm and Home, Frank's Great Outdoors. Jay's Sporting Goods is a huge one. Yeah, we're in a lot of different local shops and also in your, bigger shops as well. You can of course, get it at killerfoodplots.com. We have free shipping. So
that's what I was going to say, killerfoodplots.com. Martin from Michigan Crossbow Hunter says, I have a spot that's very shady with oak trees, and I'm wondering if you have anything that'll grow there.
Yes, we do. So, you want to correct your pH with some lime, and our lethal winter oats and our deep woods will grow from full sun all the way down to 2 hours with the deep woods, and then just daylight is sufficient to grow our lethal winter oats.
Of course, Lori says, give us the website. Well, the website is killerfoodplots.com, killerfoodplots.com. You can also hear the monthly Killer Food Plots podcast that we do about Killer Food Plots as well. All right, my friends, we are going to start the contest right now. If you have won in the last 2 weeks, please do not enter. I'll say that again. If you have won in the last 2 weeks, please do not make a comment because we want as many people to win as possible. So right now, make your comment about why you want to win a Killer Food Plots soil testing kit. And Nick Percy is standing by, and he will choose that winner. So Nick, the pressure is going to be on you.
All right.
All right, my friends, make your comments now. We're looking at him right now. Jeff says, what's the process for your... I think you meant soil test kit. He said soul test kit. That's a whole different show. I'm willing to get into it, but that's a whole different show. All right. I'm not going to bother you, Nick. You keep an eye on those comments there. Jeff is commenting. Jim is commenting. 2 Jims are commenting. While we're doing that, I'll remind you, let's see, give the website. I gotta find you, Lori, so I can hide your comment again. There we go. This is Nick Percy. I'm Mike Avery here. This is Nick Percy over there. This is Wednesday Night Live. This is something we do every Wednesday night on Mike Avery Outdoors. And Nick is with me because he's a guy that I work with on the Outdoor Magazine radio show. As I said, we also do the Killer Food Plots monthly podcast. And Nick is a food plot expert. He is graciously giving away 2 soil testing kits to 2 different lucky winners. So make your comments now. You've got about a minute and a half. Make your comments now about why you want to win a Killer Food Plots soil testing kit, and maybe we'll be giving away. Let's see what some of the comments are. Lloyd says he's trying to plant in Huckleberry Marsh. Nothing is growing. You can't kill it without killer food plots. That's going to be a good one there, Craig. I want to teach my grandchildren how to take care of deer plots. A lot of good comments, my friend. Tell us why, because you got 1 more minute. Tell us why you want to win a soil testing kit from Killer Food Plot. Glenn says, made in Michigan. And being a Michigan guy, I love that. Daughter's boyfriend just started a food plot. We'll pass this along to him to help him out. 30 seconds on the Killer Food Plot giveaway. And you know, if you've been with us before, and Nick has been with me on Wednesday Night Live, but not while we're doing one of these, so he doesn't know what's coming up. 15 seconds on the giveaway. I don't pay any attention to my watch. I just kind of guess it. 15 seconds on the giveaway. I've got to take a break to get ready because you know what's coming. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Contest is over. All right, Nick. I don't know if you had a couple of minutes or if you know your winners right now.
Yep.
All right. Who are they?
So Jason Nowitzki. I said that right? Nowitzki.
Okay, Jason Nowitzki.
Yep.
And who else?
And looks like. Whoops. Wow. There's a bunch of things.
They make it hard for you, don't they?
They do. Let's do. Where did it go? It just disappeared on me. Sorry.
That's all right. No pressure or anything on you, Nick.
Yeah, I know, right? It went away. The gentleman that was talking about his grandkids, I lost.
Oh, his grandkids. Let me see if I can find that for you. Grandkids, Killer Food Plot, Nick, last few years, boyfriend, grandkids, Don Schlegel.
Got Tracy piping up in the background. That's correct.
That's the one?
Yeah.
Don Schlegel. Good. Thank God for Tracy.
I know. She's
you tell me that all the time. Thank God for Tracy.
Yeah, it's true.
Don Schlegel. All right. So listen, Jason and Don, congrats to you both. If you would send me in a private message your shipping information, and I will pass it along to Nick, and he will get those out to you. Nick, let's talk about food plotting here for just a couple of more minutes. Okay. There are a lot of companies in the food plot business that I'm going to say I just think are less than reputable. But you guys have been around for what, 30 years now?
Yeah, we have. I mean, Killer Food Plots as a brand has been around 10 years. My base business is ground up property. And so Killer Food Plots is what we branded all of our products into 10 years ago. It's pretty exciting to be where we are at this point in time. We really pride ourselves on the seed that we have grown. Our KFP specific species are grown for us, and they definitely set our products apart.
Well, it's a pleasure working with you. I have a lot of respect for you. Again, I would send people to the website, killerfoodplots.com, killerfoodplots.com. Also, check out the monthly Killer Food Plots podcast. Nick does a great job. And Nick, I appreciate you joining us.
Yeah, absolutely.
And listen, we'll do this again. Maybe before the end of the summer, we'll get back out in the field and go to one of your food plots again.
Yeah, right? That would be great. That would definitely be great. I know Scott hand piped in and said he'd be happy to give away a gallon of the new Killer Food Plot Soil Defender. So if anybody needs some help growing, you can give that away in your show tonight. So,
well, I won't do that tonight. Maybe I'll save that for one of our live shows where we get together in person.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks,
All
Mike.
right.
Appreciate it being on.
Killer Food Plots. Thank you for joining me, my friend. Again, the website, killerfoodplots.com, killerfoodplots.com. Don't you love this new format that I'm working with that allows me to do these types of interviews, to show your comments and just generally shoot the breeze? I really enjoy it. It gives me an option that I don't have on the radio show or the podcast. Speaking of the radio show and the podcast, as you continue to ask your questions, and I will be keeping an eye on them since Bill Hoffman hasn't asked yet. Let me tell you who's on the radio show this week. Ali Shakur joins me. Ali is a tournament fisherman and a biologist, which makes him a very, very interesting guest. And then Captain Mel Stackpool of Great Lakes Charter Training. That's the class that I took to get my captain's license. They're getting back in business now after the COVID shutdown. And he joins us. In hour number 2, We're talking muskies on Lake St. Clair with Captain Don Miller. He's been out there 40 years chasing those giant fish. And then Brad Dupuis of Angler Quest Boats. And we wrap up the hour with my Ask Avery segment. And I'm going to come back to that in just a minute. But first, the third hour of the show features the yak master himself, Dave Mull, and then, of course, wild game chef extraordinaire, Dave Miner. Speaking of the Ask Avery segment, here we go. I like this. I like this comment. Eric says you should give away an Angler Quest and a Polar Craft boat. I'm all for it, Eric. I'm all for it. I don't think the folks at Apex Marine would be for it. Elza, enjoying the outdoors this week camping in Alpena. Did you get the big storm up there in Alpena? Did you make it through that? Good evening, Craig. How are you? Nice to have you along with us on another edition of Wednesday Night Live right here on Mike Avery Outdoors. My Ask Avery segment this week. And the way this works is you can pose a question directly to me, or you can give me a question. I got to see what Johnny's saying. A couple walleye lures, you lose crawler. Johnny, who I hope to be bear hunting with in September. If you were fishing down here on Saginaw Bay, I'd know exactly what to send you. In fact, I was going to. Somebody said, Avery, why don't you show us tonight your setup for running offshore boards with the tattle flags, how they all work. And I was going to do that. But to do that, I had to stop by the boat today and pick them up. And it was right during that big storm. And I got to be honest, pretty much all I wanted to do was just get home and get out of that storm. So that's why we're not doing that tonight. Gary Nert, in this week's Ask Avery segment, he says, I've been seeing more dead deer than normal on the sides of the road these days and wondering why. Is it somehow related to COVID and people's changing travel patterns? Now, let me ask you, my friends, have you been seeing more dead deer along the side of the road this summer than usual? Actually, it's still late spring. Have you been seeing more dead deer? Mike, I saw that. Canada extended the border closing. So Ron St. Louis was indeed very, very smart. Very, very smart. Yes, number 7 flicker shads are what I use down here. Absolutely. Glenn says he's been seeing more dead deer. Mike says he's been seeing more dead deer. Ross, I'm going to have my hands, Ross says, let's go live on Monday and show people. Ross, I'm going to have my hands full just keeping you yahoos under control. That's a joke, you know. So a lot of people have been seeing more dead deer. And Jason says he hasn't. Paul says he has. I've had several people come to me and say they've been seeing more dead deer. Now, to be honest with you, haven't been traveling that much lately. So just outside of my local area here. So I'm not a good judge, but I've had a lot of people say they're seeing more dead deer, which really doesn't make sense, does it? Because if people were shut down because of COVID and not traveling as much, there shouldn't have been as many car deer accidents. But I posed that question to Chad Stewart from the DNR, and he said he doesn't really know the answer either. But we did talk about 2 times of year when you traditionally see more deer accidents, during the rut and during the fawning season, which of course we're in the fawning season now. And then Mark Torregrossa, Michigan's meteorologist, posed a question to me. He said, why is there not some kind of an app that will allow you, if you hit a deer, to put this information in the app? Okay, there's a freshly killed deer on I-75 at mile marker 217. And if somebody's looking for fresh venison, they could go on this app, they could claim that deer, somehow, file their report so it'd be legal to get it. And I'm not talking about a deer that gets hit broadside by a semi 80 miles an hour. I'm talking about a deer with a busted up, front shoulder or something. And I thought that was a pretty good idea. Johnny Bowler says, up here they've been getting hit. I believe it varies. Once they try to get out to open areas to get away from the bugs, such as the skeeters. And another for us, there's a migration back to their summer area. Johnny, I would have thought that migration would have already happened. So that's very interesting. And Johnny, once again, I am really looking forward, hopefully, to bear hunting with you in the Newberry district for the 3rd season this year. Dennis says he's not seeing as many dead deer. Less cars, less highway action. Maybe they're getting a little more comfortable. I thought of that too, Glenn. I wonder about that. Maybe the deer just got used to not many people being on the roads, and the reopening took them by surprise. Here's a message from Nick. Nick says, give us a call with any soil testing, or soil building, or food plotting questions, and he gives the number. I'll give it to you, 616-550-8483. 616-550-8483. Thank you, Nick. And again, thank you for joining us on this edition of Wednesday Night Live. What else is on my list here? Oh, fishing stories. Dawn says she thought police call and contact processors and food banks. In a perfect world, yes. But the DNR and police departments are so short-staffed that really doesn't happen much anymore. You can claim a whitetail just by making a phone call to Central Dispatch. And they'll give you a permit over the phone, or a case number or something over the phone. Sal says, you drive 250 miles a day and have bumped into 3 deer already this spring. Sal, that's a lot of road miles. So I would encourage you to listen to the Outdoor Magazine radio podcast to make the time go by. Brent, good evening to you as well, my friend. Look forward to fishing with you on Monday. I have been spending quite a bit of time on the water. In fact, Avery said, man, you're getting awful dark. Well, it's because I've been spending a lot of time on the water. Fishing for walleye on my beloved Saginaw Bay, which you know I love. I've had some great trips recently. Saturday, we got out and got 24 fish Saturday. I'll tell you exactly where we were. We were east of the channel, Saginaw River Shipping Channel, in 24 feet of water, pulling number 7 flicker shads at about 2.5 miles an hour. 60 to 80 feet back were our best lead lengths. And Fire Tiger was our best color. I can't tell you any more than that. Ross says, what time do you want us there? You guys decide, Ross, 7 or 8. It's up to you. I know Brent's got to get going. 7 or 8. It's up to you guys. You tell me. I'll be there. Martin says he has the walleye fishing in the bay, Scott, has been phenomenal. Martin has 6 openings for their first annual Michigan Crossbow Hunters fishing trip out of South Haven for Kings, Lakers, and Cohos. So if you want to be a part of that, get in touch with Martin. Here's an interesting. How did the flood affect the bay fishery, Seth? And that's a very good question. At first, and we had these historic floods where the Sanford and Edenville dams let loose and all this water came down. At first, the water quality, the water clarity across the bay was like chocolate milk. And there was a lot of debris floating out there. And by debris, I mean trees. So you had to be careful. Since then, that mud has settled out very well. The water color is what I would consider to be perfect, even up there in my skinny water, which hasn't been worth a darn this year. When that skinny water was about 7 feet deep, it was a hot fishery right up there next to shore. Now the water levels have gone up to where it's 10 and 11 feet, and it's not the same. It's not as good. So the water temp last time I was out, Scott, was 72 degrees last time I was out. And I'm not going to be out tomorrow because tomorrow looks to be nasty, but I do plan on fishing on Friday. Friday looks like it's a light, now a northwest wind. So I do plan to be out there on Friday. You think 7 is the best? Let's do it at 7 o'clock. You guys know where to find me. No, I don't think you have been there. I'll send you directions. The owner of the dam is getting sued. Oh, big time. There's going to be enough lawsuits go around in that whole thing. That's for sure. So good question again. So where has all the garbage and trash gone? The mud has settled down. The trash has just kind of been dispersed. It's been diluted. The solution to pollution is dilution. So all of this trash and garbage and logs and trees that were right up by the mouth of the river have just kind of, the current and the winds have just kind of dispersed them. They're still out there. You've still got to be careful. Even the other day, we saw full-size trees out there floating around. And if you get a chop, they're just below the surface and you might not see them. So you got to keep your eyes open. But the water quality out there now is very, very good. Ed Bolanowski of Speedy Blaze, speedyblaze.com says you're going to be out there Friday, Ed. Let's stay in touch. Yes, Brent, same slip. You know where I'm at. The exact same slip. Absolutely. So Ed, yeah, let's stay in touch. It looks to be a good day, wind wise, and I'm looking forward to getting out there. Oh, I got my bear from White River, Ontario, that I shot last August with Ron St. Louis of Northern Wilderness Bear Outfitter. Shot with my recurve, 261 pounds, and it was 13 years old. Now, that is not the oldest bear I've shot. A few years ago, I shot a big sow about the same size, and she was 16 years old. I think it's pretty cool that a wild critter will get that old. I mean, think about this. If a whitetail buck lived to be 10 years old, they'd be so smart you'd never kill him. 13 years old, 16 years old, you'd never get him. You know what, Joe? I am too. I think Joe is referring to the picture at Linwood Beach Marina of the big storm that we had today that came through and blew one of their big, I think it's a big cottonwood over, and it landed on some boats, including, I think, an Angler Quest Cry-Tune, and it was not mine. Okay. Scott doesn't know me very well. Do you run harnesses or hard baits? Well, does anybody want to answer this question for me? Scott, I will not run crawlers. I don't like them. I don't like the mess. I don't like the fact that you have to troll so slow. So to answer your question, what I run, what I run are primarily number 7 flicker shads, usually 60 to 90 feet back is a good depth. When I get in shallow, I will use the old-fashioned Hottentots as long as they've got a rattle, and I like purple Hottentots with a rattle. And I used to run spoons behind offshore tadpoles. Now, I did this last time we were out. I was marking fish top to bottom. And I was actually fishing below them earlier in the day. I found out when I raised my baits up, I started catching fish. But still, there were a lot of fish just laying on the bottom, and I couldn't get those flicker shads deep enough, running them clean to get them down there. So what I did was I took a number 3, and this is one of the things I was going to demonstrate tonight, the tadpoles, a number 3 offshore tadpole, which is a diving weight that'll get a bait down to depth in a hurry. So in 24 feet of water, I take a number 3 offshore tadpole. About 6 feet behind that, I put a spoon and I free spool that rig down to the bottom, and it hits bottom. I engage it, and I free spool it, I stop it, and then I free spool it again until it hits bottom again. If you've ever run bottom bouncers for crawler, bottom bouncer rig with crawlers on it, but I've got a offshore tadpole with a spoon behind it. And in 24 feet of water, it ended up being about 55 to 60 feet off the reel. And what that thing does, Johnny, you have a good night as well. What that does is it takes that spoon right down to the bottom. It even bounces the bottom sometimes. And we took a fair number of fish off that basically bottom bouncer spoon. Johnny, you have a great night as well. Always a pleasure to have you along with us. And I really look forward to hunting with you. Let's see. Good size and the age of the bear to shoot. That's certainly on the respectable side, Scott. Certainly on the respectable side. I mean, if somebody wants to shoot a 150-pound bear, I don't care. God bless them. Good for them. Somebody else had a question here that I wanted to address. Randy, I am Murray, not Lemurray. I am Murray. I was paying attention. Here's the question. What kind of a mount did I do for that bear? I had Scott Keatsman at Linwood Taxidermy do a bear rug. Listen, I'll just turn this. I got bear mounts here. You can see when I do this, I got bear mounts. I got bear mounts everywhere. Okay. I got bears. I got bears. I got bears. I got bears. I got bears everywhere. So I really didn't need another bear rug. But my daughter wanted a bear rug. And I thought, you know what? That's really cool. If she's going to If she's going to put a bear rug at her place, I'm going to get her a bear rug. So that's what I had done with this one. Again, Scott Keatsman at Linwood Taxidermy did that for me. All right, I'm going to do this. I hate adjusting camera. There we go. I hate adjusting cameras live, but when I do something stupid like turn it around like that, I have to. And you know that if it's not just right, it drives me crazy. There. And I've reframed it a little bit wider. Not that that's bad. What else have we got here? My friend Ace, Dennis McDonald, says, it looks like a Bass Pro store in your basement. And that's good. Ace, my friend, who I've literally known for 42 years since college. Did I get my rug yet? No, Randy. Scott has it waiting there for me. And I have, thank you. Thank you, Ross. Thank you, Ross. Thank you for looking out for me. No. Oh my gosh. Jeez. I had put my phone on Do Not Disturb, but I still just got a phone call. Closed captioning is on Facebook, but not on YouTube. Craig, you have to turn it on. There's nothing I do. On my end, I don't do no fish on the wall. No, I got a few fish in there on the wall on the other side. The closed captioning here on Wednesday Night Live is not something that I do. It's something that you, as the viewer, do on your end. And I just realized that here last week when I started to do some experimentation. You have to take care of that on your end. Ruben, how are things in Colorado? I know this morning when we talked, you said it was cold and snowing, when here in Michigan, it was unbelievably hot, unbelievably muggy. Any thoughts on proposed deer changes, like all guns being used for muzzleloader? I have to be honest, Jason. I haven't given that part of the proposed regulations. How did my light just go out? It was fully charged. It's okay. It'll be fine. I haven't given that part much thought. The only thing I've really been paying attention to is the blaze orange on ground blinds. Look at this. Does Avery come prepared or what? That's a little bit too bright, dude. I don't necessarily like that light, but hey, I don't think I want to use it. I'm not going to use it. The only regulation I've been paying much attention to is the proposal to add blaze orange to a ground blind. And I really don't like that idea at all. The reason being, now I blinded myself and I can't figure out how to turn it off. The reason being is I don't think we've had a problem with hunters being shot while in their ground blinds. Certainly not enough to put another piece of regulation or a law in front of us. Listen, I'm in favor of any law that protects the resource and protects hunters and anglers. But having a law, a rule, or a regulation for the sake of having it, I do not believe in. I think we have way too many laws, rules, regulations. Scott Buttrick, how have you been, Scott? Since the COVID thing, I haven't had a chance to see you. I understand the Lumberjack is back open. I think what we should do, Scott, here, since Oscar and Joey's is not open yet, let's give things a few weeks and start to get back to some semblance of normal. And let's come up and do a Wednesday night live at the Lumberjack and see if we can get some people, some money, some business in there. Shall we do that? Let's do that. And they extended the border closing. Yes. Cameron says he too disagrees with the orange cap mandatory on the roof of the blind. We have way too many rules and regulations. Way too many. I'd like to see the DNR come back in and recodify the whole system. Scott says it sounds like an excellent plan. No reason to have rules and regulations if there's no reason to have rules and regulations. Just something more for the game wardens to keep track of and something more for us as anglers, hunters and anglers to keep track of. And it's pretty tough right now just trying to keep track of things, right? Ross said he had lunch there today. It was awesome as usual, and he loves his lumberjack loaded burger. I would love a lumberjack loaded burger, but I'm going to pass. But I might have some chicken wings. Solution for no problem. Yes, that's exactly what it is. It's a solution that doesn't have a problem. Well, I can't argue with that. It only takes one accident. But however, do we want to put laws into effect that might only, well, yes, I guess if you're going to say if it saves one life, it's worth it. And I can't argue with that. You got me there. I can't argue with that. However, I still don't like the idea of the law because I don't think it's necessary. I don't think it's needed. Sherry's got a great idea. Have the lumberjack loaded burger with freaking pickles. Freakingpickles.com. That's the way to go. That's the way to go. What else did I want to talk about? The bear, Johnny Bowler, who was with us earlier. I hope to be bear hunting with him. I really hope to get the third season. Dave says they're in for both the lumber. But what if you're recovering from your surgery, Dave? By the way, my eye from my surgery, when I had the blown out eye with a detached and torn retina, I'd say it's about 90%, maybe 95%. The bubble that they put in there to hold everything in place while it heals is still there, but it's very, very small. It doesn't bother me hardly at all anymore, and my vision is absolutely wonderful. So I'm very happy that turned out really well. No problems at all. Scott says, beware of unintended consequences when you pass new laws. Beware of unintended consequences for everything, hey, Scott? All right, my friends, it looks like it's time to wrap up this edition of Wednesday Night Live here on the Mike Avery Outdoors on the Facebook page and the YouTube channel. I was also broadcasting live to my Vimeo channel. And about 2 minutes in, I got a notice that said the Vimeo feed had dropped off, and I don't know why. I'm looking for other social media outlets to do this to. I will probably add there, Chris Durson. Chris, I have been trying to get in touch with you. You know that. Chris Durson of Rapid River Knives. Yes. All right. I would like that very much. I'd love to get you on the show, Chris. And thanks for checking in tonight on Wednesday Night Live. Appreciate that. Well, yeah, it healed up very well. Thank you. So anyway, I'm looking for more social media outlets. I think I'm going to try to get it on the LinkedIn page as well. So I'll maybe look for something else. I love this new StreamYard platform. It allows me to do a lot of things. As you saw with Nick Percy, again, congrats to Jason Nowicki and Don Schlegel. If you haven't already, send me a private message. Give me your shipping address. I will pass it along to Nick Percy, and he will get the product out to you. All right, my friends, thank you for joining me on this edition of Wednesday Night Live. Always a pleasure. Really enjoy these. Really enjoy talking with you. Appreciate your support, as I try to say every time I'm on the air or online here. It would not be possible to do the things that I have, do the things I do without your support, and I do certainly appreciate it. God bless you, and thank you for joining me on this edition of Wednesday Night Live.